All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Tucson, Arizona. Tucson, Arizona, and Radio Land. Good morning. Good morning. We want to be with you on this Saturday morning. We're just excited for our show on today. And this is the Fresh Start Show with Dr. Holt, show that addresses justice reform issues and issues with the formerly incarcerated population, and also a show that addresses mental health. And so we're excited again on this morning. So good morning to everybody. Wake on up. This is the Fresh Start Show with Dr. Holder. I always say, go get your cereal, go get your cup of coffee, go get your mocha latte, whatever you need on this morning to get energized, to wake up. It's the Fresh Start Show with Dr. Hope. Again, we are excited about our show. There is no show like our show. And throughout our county, throughout our state, there's no show that really deals specifically with the formerly incarcerated and the struggles of what it's like to be incarcerated in this country and to get a felony in this country. We know most definitely it has some long-term ramifications. Again, we are excited about this show. We are here every Saturday on 106.3 The Groove at 7:30, and so continue to keep coming out and supporting our show. And we also are on The Voice at 10:30 a.m. on the AM side. So continue to keep it locked and join us every Saturday morning. We are here talking about the issues. We are here talking about the struggles. We are here talking about the long-term ramifications of people that are incarcerated, rather not even just in state and federal penitentiary, but also being incarcerated in county jails. And we do have to speak into those issues in regards to reform and the struggles that come with it. We have too many young people as well in the juvenile detention center, and then we have too many poor people sitting in just a county jail, rotting away because they can't pay a $200 or $300 bail. So they end up sitting in the county jail for 6, 7, 8 months. And that's a whole nother conversation. But so when we talk about incarceration, we're talking about the whole enchilada, even as a child. We have too many children sitting in the juvenile detention center, and there could be all kind of different reimaginations of alternative to incarceration, even for young people. We see a lot of young kids that are arrested from school and thrown into the juvenile detention center. And we've seen even school staff weaponize campus police to throw kids into the juvenile detention center when they haven't even broken the law. They may have violated a policy, but no kid should be arrested because of policy. People should be arrested for breaking the law. So when we talk about Fresh Start, everyone needs a fresh start. And our vision with Fresh Start is where everyone gets a new beginning. So again, my name is Dr. Holt. I'm the founder and visionary of Fresh Start. I'm the brainchild of the Fresh Start Expo that we have for formerly incarcerated individuals in October at the Tucson Convention Center. And we work hard on a diligent basis to help individuals bounce back from the setbacks, help them to get into the driver's seat of their destiny, and help them and empower them to have autonomy and to build a great life again. So today you got me today. Usually I have a guest, but sometimes I like to just come on and talk about the issues that is at hand. Right now, if you get a felony in this country, you have a felony for the rest of your life. And not only you have a felony for the rest of your life, but you are impacted for the rest of your life. Even if you do 3 years in prison, if it's a felony conviction, you're going to be impacted for the rest of your life. If you have been in prison for 10 years, if you've been in prison for 15 years, if you've been in prison for 20 years, you can do all those 20 years. And you would think after you pay your debt to society, that you can walk away and you can wipe the slate clean and move forward in your life. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, as great as that sound, that is not how it works at all. As a matter of fact, you can complete your sentence of 20 years and be released from prison. And yet, if you have a felony background, you're going to pay the price for it. If you have a felony, you're going to have a hard time getting housing. You're going to have a difficult time getting a job. You're going to have a difficult time. Every time somebody runs your background check, your felony is going to keep coming up. And because of that, that has a lot to do with how far you can go forward in your future. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's a very difficult place to be in your life. It's very discouraging. It is very depressing. It does something to your self-image. It makes you feel some kind of way in your self-esteem, and especially when you are a man, because all men in their rightful sense wants to be able to have their own autonomy, wants to be able to build a life. And if you have children, you want to be able to put food on the table. You want to be able to keep a roof over your head. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a felony, you're going to have a difficult time getting a house. You're going to have a difficult time getting an apartment, because many landlords that own properties do not want felons living on their property or living in their apartments. And not only far as in regards to getting a house, guess what? To get a house, you have to have income. And in order to have income or to make income, earn income, you got to have a job. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you kick 10 steps forward, 10 steps backwards again, because in order to get that apartment, you're going to have to pay a application fee. You're going to have to pay for the background. And more than likely, because of background issues, you're going to have to pay a security deposit and first month rent. That sounds like a lot of money before you even move in, right? Well, how do you get that money? Well, you have to have income. Well, how do you get income? Well, you have to have a job. You have to work, right? Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's another bad thing I meant to tell you about having a felony. It's not only is it difficult to move forward and get a home, but you're going to have a difficult time finding a job. And it all looks good at the beginning. You know, when I talk to different individuals that have come to Fresh Start and they tell me their stories, you know, they all say it feels good at the beginning. It seemed like their background is not an issue. They get to the end, they do the application piece, they start doing their interviews, and the manager supervisor tells them that the interview went well. Look forward to hearing from us in a few days or a few weeks. And so they all excited because as of right now, on a preliminary tentative cases, they give you the job offer. And so you feel excited. You start telling people, I got a job. And then you get this email, or then you get this letter in the mail explaining that unfortunately you didn't get the position. They decided to go with another candidate. But you really know what has happened, right? They did a background check. They saw that you had a felony. Even though that they shook your hand and they gave you a tentative offer for the job, predicated in regards to your background being approved, you have the job, but you already know in the back of your head that you have a felony, so you just don't know how this is going to go. And unfortunately, it's hard for you to get excited about things as far as a job, and it's hard for you to get excited about this job offer because you know that felony background is sitting back there somewhere, and you wondering who's going to find it. And most employers, after doing a thorough background check or sometimes a background investigation, depending on the employer and the agency, you don't get the job. Wow. Which is a powerful and devastating setback for people. Because again, I can't speak for all, but most men want to do better. Most men want to have an autonomy. Most men and women that have been incarcerated wants to move forward. There's been an increase of incarcerations of women. So that means a lot of mothers have been incarcerated. And I talk with, when I did my trainings on the traumatization of incarceration, I had some mothers that was formerly incarcerated talk about their struggles, and then them coming back home to families and how it had drastically impacted them, and not just on a financial level, but on a mental and emotional level. Sometimes just mentally and emotionally, you're just not there because through a lot of my studies, for those that don't know, I am a trauma expert and mental health expert. That's what I do. That's my work outside of this organization of Fresh Start. And sometimes it all aligns together. And so a lot of people are not the same when they come out of prison, mentally and emotionally. There's some research out there about people. Can you get PTSD from going to prison? And the answer is yes. And we've seen many studies and case studies in regards to individuals who went to prison, and when they were released, they was not the same. That was one of the former incarcerated mothers that told me that when she came home from being in prison for so long, she didn't know how to build an emotional attachment with her children. And even her children was telling her that she seemed numb, she seemed different, she seemed like nothing mattered. And so she asked me, she said, well, Dr. Ho, what is that? In our realm in mental health, we call that dissociation. Or sometimes dissociation can get really, really deep to where it's a dissociation disorder. And with dissociation, you just really have a difficult time building attachments and being emotionally invested and emotionally connected. But just to speak on all those things, and this is what the Fresh Start is about. We talk about former incarcerated issues. We talk about justice reform issues, and we talk about mental health. All of that is integrated in the show. So listen, felonies is real, and this is how we came up. This is why I really felt that God put this in my heart as a vision to help the poor and help the formerly incarcerated, because a lot of parts of our society don't give a doggone about people that's been in prison. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't want felons in our neighborhoods, felons in our churches, felons in our different levels of communities. But they're human, and they have blood running warm in their veins just like you and I do. And the only difference is from us to them is many of us made bad choices too, and many of us done some dumb things too. Thank God we didn't get our hand caught in the cookie jar. And that's the big difference is that some of you did the exact same thing and should have went to prison, should have got arrested, but you didn't get your hand caught in the cookie jar. And they got caught in the cookie jar. Unfortunately, they got arrested, they got charged, they got prosecuted, they got convicted, and they got sentenced. But everybody deserves another chance, and that's where Fresh Start is, and that's our mission. Tucson, our mission is where everyone deserves a new beginning. It's what our mission statement is, where everyone deserves a new beginning. And so we believe in everybody having a new beginning. Unfortunately, that's not how a lot of our government works, especially in the justice system, in particular the judicial side of our justice system. And so there's many different disenfranchised disenfranchisement laws out there all across our country, including Arizona is a disenfranchisement state in regards to a person having a felony. In Arizona, we have over 200,000 people, 200,000 people who have felony backgrounds, or 200,000 felons in our state that has been disenfranchised with being able to vote. And also to carry a firearm because of their felony background. And what we learned is that's not just in Arizona. That's been most of our country where there are state disenfranchisement laws. And pretty much disenfranchisement laws is when you get convicted of a felony, you're going to be disenfranchised to have certain benefits that other Americans will have. One would be obviously one of our big democratic opportunities as an American is to have the power and the ability to vote. Secondly, to be able to carry a firearm, and then depending on different states, they prohibit you to be able to participate in a lot of benefits as being an American. But we have too many people that's not able to participate in voting and or in many of the rights that comes with being an American. And when it comes to poor Americans, or when it comes to African Americans and Latino communities, we know that those numbers are even more disturbing and more challenging. What we have right now on racially um, desperate impact, we see an estimated 5.85 million Americans, or 1 in 40 adults, have currently or permanently lost their voting rights as a result of a felony conviction, and 2.2 million African Americans and 7.7% of black adults are disenfranchised compared to 1.81% of the non-African American population. And when we get into some of the big states like Florida, 23%, Kentucky, 22%, and Virginia, 20%, more than 1 in 5 African Americans is disenfranchised. So when we also talk about these issues, we also talk about indigenous communities, poor communities, and communities of color. How being disenfranchised in this country is really, really challenging. And so this is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, in Radio Land, why we have Fresh Start. Fresh Start is to help people get back on their feet. It's a one-stop shop. And that all leads me up to coming later this year in this fall, Fresh Start will return. Let me say that again. Fresh Start will return. We're coming back on Saturday, October 22nd, on a Saturday, at the Tucson Convention Center this fall. Let me say that again. This fall, Saturday, October 22nd, we will be at the Tucson Convention Center doing this all over again with the Fresh Start Expo. It's a one-stop shop to help people who have been formerly incarcerated to get back on their feet. We will be bringing the city courts, justice courts, superior courts, juvenile courts. We're going to be bringing the county public defender's office, the county attorney's office, the city attorney, and city public defenders. Judges will be there on site to help people get on their feet. We will be helping people to get their voters' rights back. So you have rights of restoration of rights. We're going to be helping people. We've helped some people through city courts and justice courts to even get suspended driver's license reinstated to help them be able to have driving privilege to get to work and do the right thing. We were able to help people, and we'll be doing this again. If you got court fees, you got fines you can't pay, and it's difficult to pay those court fees, and you got to keep a roof over your head. Right now, we're dealing with inflation on food and gas, so court fees most definitely can sometimes be secondary, but yet it still can be problematic. So we are helping people to reduce and even waive some of their court fees and fines through this program of Fresh Start Expo. We will have a job fair. If you have a felony, come to the Fresh Start on October 22nd this fall. I know it seems like, man, it's just April, and he talking about October. Listen, let me tell you, time moves fast. Once you blink, we just passed Easter. We're going to pass Mother's Day. We're going to pass Memorial Day. We're going to pass Father's Day in June and the 4th of July in July. And next thing you know, we're just a few weeks away. It's going to be Labor Day, and boom. And in September, it's going to be Fresh Start in October. That's just how fast things move. So it's good to be acknowledging this and announcing this early. Another reason why I'm announcing it early, we want to triple our numbers. We had around 400 or 500 people in our first one. I'm looking for over 1,000 people this year. We have 200,000 people with felonies that cannot vote. Do you know how if 200,000 people had got their voters' rights got their voters' rights back? Do you know that will tilt the electric of people being able to vote in this country? It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. Let me tell you, 200,000 people that cannot vote. If all those 200,000 people came to some kind of Fresh Start event or came to some right restoration event and say, I want to get my voters' rights back, that will turn the voters' election upside down. Either way, that's just a lot of people not being able to vote. Whether you're on the Democratic side, Republican side, because we're not about politics here, but I'm just saying that for informational purposes, that regardless of however you vote or however you line yourself up politically, 200,000 missing votes is huge. And just imagine if people really got their voters' rights back. So listen, we're here to help you. This coming October, It's going down. It's going down in Tucson once again. It's going to be at the Tucson Convention Center. It's going to be live. It's going to be powerful. We're going to have a stage. We're going to have people who's been formerly incarcerated on the stage during the event, talking about giving their testimonies, talking about how they turned their life around. We will have people on stage. We will have our mayor back. We're going to have our county attorney, Laura Conover, back. We're going to have judges. We're going to have all kind of people speaking on the stage, talking about this very issue. And we need to have lawmakers at the table to produce a new bill that can help people get on their feet in regards to something like a full expungement for nonviolent offenders, so that they can seal their background and they don't have to worry about not getting a home, not being able to get a job, because their background will be sealed. But we have to create new legislation. So we also got to have policymakers and lawmakers at the table in this endeavor. But nevertheless, we're coming back, and we're not scared, and we're coming to help as many people possible. So have your cousin them, have your mother and them, have your brother and them, have all of them come down to the Fresh Start in October 22nd. And it's going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's not going to be all day, just the first half of your day. And we're expecting to have a good time. Listen, if you even want to call, feel free to call us at area code 520-595-8885. That's 595-8885. That's my direct business line with Fresh Start. If you need anything, and you need any special accommodations, come down at the Fresh Start. We will have child care. If you have children, no one to babysit on that day on the October 22nd, bring your children, and and the Girl Scouts of America is going to be partnering with us to provide child care for your child, so you can go handle all of your business. We're going to have behavioral health there. We're going to have primary care there. You're going to be able to get a doctor's checkup. You're going to be able to even have dentists to even get your teeth taken care of, and all of those different things. This is the one-stop shop that does not exist nowhere else but in Tucson. It is something for Tucson to be proud of. We are the trailblazers. We are in re-entry on steroids. We're doing something powerful. We're doing something amazing, and it's about inspiring our city to look after people who's ready to get into the driver's seat of their destiny. Everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves a new beginning. It doesn't matter what you've done. You pay your debt to society. It's time for you to move forward. We know recidivism is real. We don't want people going back to prison and becoming institutionalized for the rest of their life in prison. Let's help you get to where you need to be. So that's what Fresh Start is about. So again, get ready. This coming fall, Fresh Start is coming soon. Back this fall by popular demand. We were able to help so many people. I'm constantly getting testimonials of how their life have been impacted, how people have gotten jobs. One testimony someone talked about, I had driving privileges for many, many, many years. Because I went to the Fresh Start Expo, I was able to work with the courts and get on a payment plan and get my driver's license reinstated. And now I don't have to look over my back and be scared of getting pulled over and getting my car towed and getting arrested for taking a risk and driving on a suspended license. Listen, Fresh Start is here. We're here to make a difference. We're here to make an impact, and we're here to bring healing and restoration to our village, and healing and restoration to our city, and healing and restoration to our community. If you are serious and you're tired and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, because sometimes that's what it takes. It takes sometimes for you to get so sick and tired of being sick and tired that you're ready to make an impact. Listen, our time is just about out of here, but I just want to let you know and encourage you. If your mind is made up and you're ready to get into the driver's seat of your future and your destiny, you can with Fresh Start. So listen, again, we will be here this coming fall, October 22nd on a Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Tucson Convention Center. So we're expecting an amazing time at this event. So listen, Dr. Holt is signing out. Please tune in to us every Saturday morning on 106.3 The Groove at 7:30 a.m. Or if you miss it, Follow me on the 10:30 a.m. The Voice at 10:30 a.m. in the morning, and we will be here. Remember, this is the Fresh Start Show with Dr. Holt. Our mission is where everybody deserves a new beginning. God bless. Have a great morning.